So podcaster Joe Rogan has been facing a lot of heat for his commentary on COVID and the vaccine. Most recently, libs were upset that he interviewed Dr. Robert Malone. The interview quickly went viral, but after only a few hours, YouTube took it down. And it's important to mention that this doctor was also banned from Twitter before the interview with Joe Rogan. And he's not alone. Twitter also permanently banned Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene. They deemed her to be spreading, quote, misinformation. Now, the same day, Joe Rogan announced he's opening a Getter account, saying, quote, just in case stuff over at Twitter gets even dumber, I'm here now as well. And he encouraged 7.8 million followers to join him. Joining me now is Getter's Global Digital Marketing Director, Gavin Wax. Thank you for joining me tonight, Gavin. So to get started, I wanted people to see the interview that was scrubbed from YouTube of Joe Rogan. Watch.
What the heck happened in Germany in the 20s and 30s? Very intelligent, highly educated population, and they went barking mad. And how did that happen? The answer is mass formation psychosis. When you have a society that has become decoupled from each other and has free-floating anxiety and a sense that things don't make sense, we can't understand it, and then their attention gets focused by a leader or a series of events on one small point, just like hypnosis, they literally become hypnotized and can be led anywhere. And one of the aspects of that phenomena is the people that they identify as their leaders, the ones typically that come in and say, you have this pain and I can solve it for you. I and I alone, okay, can fix this problem for you. Okay, then they will follow that person through. It doesn't matter whether they lie to him or whatever. The data are irrelevant. And furthermore, anybody who questions that narrative is to be immediately attacked. They are the other. This is central to mass formation psychosis. And this is what has happened. We had all those conditions. If you remember back before 2019, everybody was complaining, the world doesn't make sense, blah, blah, blah. And we're all isolated from each other. We're all on our little tools. We're not connected socially anymore, except through social media. And then this thing happened and everybody focused on it. That is how mass formation psychosis happens, and that is what's happened here.
So essentially he's saying that when people are like in the state of uncertainty and someone offers them an answer, they quickly follow, whether or not the person lied, right? So now, despite where you stand on that, I just find it really scary that they could just take it down like that.
Yeah, I find it scary as well. I think millions of Americans share our sentiments. It seems that a lot of power has been centralized within a cartel of a few big globalist conglomerates that make up big tech. And they have now controlled the public square. They control the dissemination of information across the world. This is the new printing press, and those who control it have a lot of power, and they have not been challenged. They have not been reined in. Many of them operate as de facto monopolies, and they are now abusing their power to advance a political agenda that runs contrary to every American's rights to free speech. And it's very sickening what's happening, and we haven't seen any movement on the political front to correct it. So I'm glad now we have more market competitors such as Getter who are standing up and trying to provide an alternative to this censorship insanity.
Absolutely. And when you look at the regimes in history who have silenced people, it's never regimes that you want to look like, right? But the argument on the other side is, well, we want to stop the spread of misinformation, right? But isn't the whole concept of truth that the truth will come to light no matter what? So if all the information is out there, if you're really telling the truth, then why are you scared of other information? It just doesn't make sense to me.
Absolutely. There shouldn't be any, self-anointed arbiters of what is truthful information or misinformation. You get to that point to determine what is factual and what is the truth through competition and market of various different ideas that are being shared and spread. That's how you get, a form of, non-bias in the news media. You don't get it from one particular station or publication or newspaper being unbiased. You get it through just a bountiful amount of different publications pushing out their various sentiments, and people are able to come to their own conclusion because the best ideas tend to push out the worst ideas. But that's basically what they want to prevent. They want to prevent any kind of competition, any kind of marketplace of ideas, which is the slogan of Getter. So we need to continue to fight. We need to continue to, promote alternative tech platforms, even if they're not Getter, whatever they may be. The more the merrier, in my opinion. And this is the only way we're going to chip away at big tech. And we're seeing some successes already since the Joe Rogan announcement. Twitter stock is down, I think, like 50% or so. So we're starting to see the first domino effect of their decisions to really double down on the censorship.
Well, tell me how Getter is going, since a lot of people have made the move. Just what makes you guys different from Twitter and Parler? Like, tell me about your platform.
Absolutely. I mean, look, we're committed to free speech, providing an open platform, an open forum for various different ideas and thinkers and individuals without fear of censorship. But in addition to that, we're also trying to provide quality tech. We're trying to differentiate ourselves from Twitter. So, we have live streaming. Twitter deprecated that feature when they got rid of Periscope. We have longer posts. We have longer videos. We have in-app video editing, in-app photo editing, and a whole slew of other features on the way. So all of this is beginning to set ourselves apart from Twitter, and maybe people will start to come, not so much for the free speech aspect, but also just because we provide better tech and better features. That's how you're going to get members of the left to join. That's how you're going to get people who are non-political to join. That's how you're really going to create an open forum and not just an echo chamber. So we're pushing on all those fronts, and in a matter of a few months, we only launched in July. We're pushing 4 million users. We have a whole slew of new features coming to market, and it just goes to show that what we're building is pretty incredible. Compared to Twitter, which has been on the market for 15 years. We obviously have our growing pains and mistakes have been made, but that's, that goes with every startup company. We're going to continue to grow and improve ourselves, improve the platform, and create a good user experience for our millions of new users.
Well, I'll definitely have to get on there. But, speaking of, like you said, you're trying to bring in people from the other side as well. And, we are very against living in an echo chamber, right? We believe in having different ideas and letting you decide for yourself what the truth is. But we were speaking to a guest just last week, I believe, who is a conservative, who runs a media company, and he was essentially saying that he has a hot take on certain social media platforms where mainly conservatives are on there, because he is concerned that we're going to end up living in our own, echo chamber. So what do you make of that argument?
It's a good argument. I agree with it. I've always been of the opinion that we need to do an all of the above approach. Don't abandon Twitter, don't abandon Facebook, don't abandon Instagram. If you're still allowed on them, use them, expand your reach, continue to share your points of view and get them in front of as many eyeballs as possible. If they do ban you, okay, you have a backup. It's you're hedging your bets. But I think anyone, particularly those that are, thought leaders, influencers, whatever you want to call them, they should take an all of the above approach. They should have a Getter account. They should have an account on Twitter. They should have accounts on all the major platforms. And if they get knocked off on one, they have a following and they have a base on another. I do agree that we should not retreat to these ideological ghettos. We need to, stand firm in our beliefs and principles and project them wherever we can. The left is of that same mindset. We can't just run and hide. We can't just play defense. We need to expand our reach and the amount of people that we can get in front of. And that's the only way our ideas and our movement is going to grow. I know many people were able to come, to a more conservative point of view, a more right-leaning point of view, because they were exposed to various different, individuals on places like Twitter. So if you just remove yourself from Twitter, you're not doing anyone any favor. You're just helping maybe Twitter get their goal of purging any dissenting voices from their platform. So and in addition to that, obviously, you want to still be able to build platforms. So it's a mix of all of the above. Build new platforms, maintain a presence on as many as you can, and let the pieces fall where they may.
All of the above approach. I love it. Thank you so much for joining the program.
Thank you so much for having me.